ロサンゼルスドジャースの大谷翔平選手が日本時間6日、本拠地で行われたヒューストンアストロズ戦に1番投手兼指名打者として先発出場しました。投手としての登板は復帰後4度目で、今回初めて3者連続三振を記録。2回を投げて31球、被安打1、奪三振3、無失点と圧巻の内容を見せました。バッテリーを組んだウィル・スミス捕手は、2イニング目終了後にベンチで大谷選手と投球内容について話し込む場面がありました。ただ、キャッチャーミットを構える左手が強い衝撃で痺れたようで、苦笑いを浮かべながら左手を振る仕草も見せていました。初回を三者凡退に抑えた大谷選手は、2回のマウンドでクリスチャン・ウォーカー選手をフルカウントからスライダーで空振り三振に仕留め、この日初めての三振を奪いました。続くビクトル・カラティニ選手に対しては、内角低めに鋭く曲がるスイーパーで再び空振り三振。さらに6番のヤイネル・ディアス選手も外角低めのスイーパーで空振りに仕留め、見事な3者連続三振でイニングを締めくくりました。特に、左打者であるカラティニ選手の足元に食い込むスイーパーには、米スポーツ専門局、FOX スポーツの実況ジョー・デイビス氏も驚きを隠せず、
まるでビデオゲームのような球だ。
と興奮気味に叫びました。解説を担当した通算213勝154セーブを誇る殿堂入り右腕ジョンスモルツ氏も、
適切な場所に適切なタイミングで投げられる、打者にとって悪夢となる球を思い通りに操っている
と絶賛しています。なお、試合中には両チーム監督へのインタビューも行われ、最初に取り上げられた話題はやはり大谷選手の投球内容でした。この模様は日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
We don't often talk starting pitching right off of the top because we've got a whole game to do that, but let's not bury the lead with this one. Framber Valdez goes for the Astros, and they just announced him, and you hear the roar back there. Shohei Ohtani, who has resumed his two-way duties.
We probably don't talk about it because I get too excited, right? And Shohei Ohtani is somebody to get excited about, not only at the plate, but really on the mound. And yes, he's rehabbing, so it's only 2 innings, but he's been outstanding. This is one of the greatest athletes of all time, and he's going to ramp up to get about 5 innings in September. The sky's the limit for him, and we're going to enjoy 2 innings of it.
So here he is, Shohei Ohtani, ready to make his 4th start this season and his 4th start in a couple years here in his 2nd season with the Dodgers, which began with his first games in his home country as a big leaguer. Dodgers opened this season with the Cubs back in mid-March in Tokyo, swept that 2-game series. He, of course, delivered with a home run. Biggest thing that happened to him this year might have come off of the field as he became a father. On the field, he's resumed his two-way duties. By the way, he's still hit 30 home runs to lead the National League, and so he's got a lot to celebrate here on his 31st birthday. I'm glad he invited us to his party. This is going to be good, huh?
It's going to be great, and it's going to be the best 2 innings that we get to watch, and eventually over time it'll be 5 innings, I hope. But he's doing something that's so difficult to do, rehab in the big leagues while still playing an elite level hitter. But his fastball combination with the breaking ball and splitter and slider, there's nothing he can't do, and he's been a strike thrower since coming back.
A whole lot against the Dodgers after going 0-3 at the plate Friday. Shohei Ohtani will look to flip his fortunes from the mound on Saturday. Dodgers dual threat athlete will make his 4th start as part of the LA rotation in the 2nd of a 3-game set later on this evening. Ohtani's leash has been relatively short in these turns, going sub-30 pitches in each of those 3 contests, but the stuff has still been the definition of elite. Senior MLB insider Jeff Passan back with us. Jeff, what's been the Dodgers' approach to ramping up Shohei's arm thus far?
Conservative, and it's going to continue to be conservative until Shohei Ohtani says that he is ready to stretch out even further than he has already. And they're going conservatively because the Dodgers feel like they don't need to rush this. It's not the pitching depth that they have right now, which has really been tested by injuries this year, though that plays a role in it. What it comes down to is the Dodgers' approach is, we are going to get into the playoffs. Once we get there, how do we maximize ourselves? And by putting Ohtani out there more and more early in the season, they don't want to run the risk of another injury, so they're just trying to save the bullets for October, which is the time that is most important for a team with aspirations to be the first back-to-back champions in Major League Baseball in a quarter century.
2-2.
Well, he just has such an athletic body, right, to say the least. His ability to command the baseball. I'm just telling you, you have no idea how hard this is. We could talk for 6 innings, and I could explain to you how most players would have to go to rehab starts in the minors, get their innings, get their pitches, get their feel. It's going to be rough.
Hooked into left field. Kike Hernandez comes on, plays it on a bounce, and a leadoff hit for Paredes.
Typically what happens, and because he's doing it in such a short time frame, the one thing I've noticed, he's not trying to do everything in 2 innings. You know, the tendency for me, if I was in this situation, I'd want every pitch working. I'd probably overpitch and overthrow situations that don't make sense. He seems to have a calm heartbeat. He knows what he wants to accomplish, even though it's 2 innings. At the big league level, it's like getting a tease, and you don't want that to get amped up the wrong way. Yeah, when you think about the Houston Astros and their ability to hit the fastball, they do it very well. Now, this is an elite fastball, 96 miles an hour, but the Astros as a team do a great job against fastballs.
Broken bat, bouncer up the middle for Tommy Edmonds. Steps on the bag, over to first for 2.
Just to give you an insight right here how good this pitch is. He cracks the bat, goes up the middle, and is able to, because he can't get out of the box that quick as a right-hander, able to turn to 2.
Happy birthday to Shohei Ohtani. Turns 31 today. When Shohei was in high school, he scripted his whole life right down to each year. And it's uncanny how accurate a lot of it was. It was baseball stuff, it was personal stuff. He said that when he turned 31, he would have his first daughter. He missed that by like 2 months. And he wrote this script 15 years ago. Shohei in his 5th season as a two-way player. Fires a 3-1 pitch, gets a fastball by him. Last 3 years that he was a full-time two-way guy, 2021 through 2023, only Aaron Judge had a better OPS at the plate, and only 2 starting pitchers had a better ERA on the mound, and Ohtani's 284. He doesn't just do both, he stars at both.
A lot of people thought I was crazy a couple years ago making a comment to just kind of give the ultimate compliment I can, knowing it would never happen. If all he did was pitch and didn't hit, he'd be the best pitcher in baseball. And people looked at me like I might have lost my mind. But the reality is we're never going to see it, so it can't be proved. But my point is he's so talented on the mound, we're only getting a glimpse of what he can do because he's so good at the plate. And so his ability, whether it's 3-0, come back and get a strikeout, he would be the best pitcher on the Dodgers if he was healthy for the postseason because of his heartbeat, because of his athleticism. I'm just telling you, we haven't seen the full greatness until these next couple years if he stays healthy.
The discipline, the restraint, and you see it in so many different ways. You see it with the way he handles his day. How about budgeting 2 schedules? His schedule to train as a hitter, his schedule to train as a pitcher, both full-time jobs.
And that's my point. Like when Jacob deGrom was on top of his game, yeah, he had to hit a little bit because they still hit in the National League, but he was training to pitch, and he pitched at the highest level. This guy is training to do multiple things, multiple information, bullpen, hitting, all the things that you have to do to survive just as a position player. And then topple that with the routine that most people don't know a pitcher goes through because they think, how hard is that once every 5 days? It's harder than people think. And he's doing it in a rehab form coming back.
Well, we know about the athleticism, and you see how explosive and graceful he is as an athlete, but one of his biggest superpowers is his intentionality and his thoughtfulness with his schedule and how diligent he is down to the minute each day to be able to make both these things happen. 2 careers at once.
Yeah, you've got to take care of yourself. You have to be disciplined, and you've got to be a freak because at some point, something's got to give. And if I had, it's not fair to put timetables on anything, but in the next 3 years, anything more than that in a two-way for the Dodgers would be unbelievable. In other words, the next 3 years, I think he can keep this up, but then after that, at some point, something's going to give. And I think the Dodgers are going to be pretty fine if he can get those next 3 years of two-way playing.
Caratini checks his swing and the count goes full, so that would put him halfway through the 10-year deal.
Yeah,
He's already gotten him the 1 championship.
Exactly, and I just don't think people understand how taxing and how hard it is to come back from an injury, but to do what he's doing.
Back-to-back strikeouts. A video game pitch right there to get Caratini.
I mean, he just, again, is in the right place at the right time mechanically, throws all the pitches that you want for all the alleys to give a hitter a nightmare, and it doesn't look like, it just looks effortless. And that's, to me, if he can stay away from 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, then I think he's got a longer shelf life.
So you don't like seeing, like we saw last week, 101.7, fastest pitch of his career.
It's okay when you know you're only going an inning or two. I just don't think it's long-term 5-6 innings. Because, you know, the reality of how many times will he pitch 5 innings this year? It might be a couple. But that's taking into effect the Dodgers get all their guys healthy that they've all assembled in their rotation. And then what do you got? I mean, you just he's got pretty incredible choices that Dave Roberts will have down the stretch.
Another 1-2 to Diaz. He got him swinging and he strikes out the side. Happy birthday, Shohei Ohtani.
Dave, Shohei Ohtani, 2 scoreless today. What stood out to you?
I think what stood out is the command, just under control. I don't think that he overthrew anything. When he needed to, get his sinker on the plate, he did that. The sweeper, when he needed that, he did that for a 3-2 punch. I thought there was even more in there, but it was kind of a predetermined 2 innings. So that was good that, he's got 2 innings, 2 outings of 2 innings, and feel like he can kind of take that next step at some point soon.
Well, you told us before the game you are erring on the side of caution with him ×2. At what point do you become less cautious?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but I think that just being methodical and how we build him up, managing the workload, the stress, and people always ask, when is he going to get to be a regular starter to the 5 innings? I don't know that answer, but I do know that just kind of being, cautious with him. Anything that we can get from him is additive as far as the two-way player. So we feel good where he's at right now.
Joe, Shohei Ohtani, 2 scoreless innings, struck out the side in the second. What did you see?
Yeah, it looks like he all himself there. Velocity's there, sliders there. He looks healthy. I'm glad that he's out of the game.